I like that.
The OnePlus 5 is the successor to the 7-month-old OnePlus 3T, and now the 1-year-old OnePlus 3. Happy birthday! Inside the box, the OnePlus 5 comes with a power brick, a USB-A to USB-C cable, and a SIM ejector tool. And even though the design has changed over its predecessors, it still maintains its core components. That is, top-notch build quality, metal and glass material, and I'm glad that this time around I can just go with a straight black color, my favorite. And while reviews and critics might call the design uninspiring or copycatish, the OnePlus 5 has a great in-hand feel, just like its predecessors, since the physical components have pretty much stayed the same, and that also includes its button placement. On the right you have the power/lock button here, right above it is where you'll throw in your nano SIM, volume rockers on the left side of the phone, and right above that is the alert slider, an easy way to silence your phone with the flick of the wrist.
Look at the flick of their wrist!
I mean thumb. The OnePlus 5 has now gone with dual cameras in the rear, a 16 megapixel f1.7 aperture lens with electronic image stabilization, and a 20 megapixel f2.6 aperture telephoto lens for zooming in. Wow, that was a lot to say. We'll be testing all of this out in a future video. A 16 megapixel camera up front, as well as a front fingerprint reader. OnePlus throws a screen protector up here too, which is nice if you want it. I take the naked route. A 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom, the best placement for a headphone jack in my opinion, USB Type-C, and one bottom firing speaker. The OnePlus 5 continues to carry a 5.5-inch AMOLED display with a 1080p resolution, which looks great just like the 3T and 3 before it. This time around you'll get Gorilla Glass 5. On the inside, the OnePlus 5 is chock full of specs. It's using the latest Snapdragon 835 chipset, an Adreno 540 GPU, 8 gigs of RAM, there's also a cheaper 6 gig version, 128 gigs of internal storage, 64 gigs comes with the 6 gig version as well, a 3300 mAh battery, and a price tag of
How much is that?
$479 for the 6 gig RAM, 64 gig internal storage version, or $539 for the 8 gig RAM, 128 gig internal storage one, which is what I got, and that's a flat price, shipped to your door. No tax.
I like that.
With the short amount of time I've gotten this phone, I've had a chance to set it up and get my apps installed, and so far this thing flies. It's fast and it's really what I expected, and I can't wait to test its performance against the other 835 phones like my S8 and U11. The OnePlus devices have always stuck out because of their price to performance ratio. In the end, you're getting a well-built phone with top-end performance specs that directly competes or outperforms higher-end phones. A very close to stock version of Android at about $200+ cheaper than its competitors. You're not going to find a Snapdragon 835 device with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage for $539 shipped to your door elsewhere. If you do, let me know. That doesn't go without some setbacks, however. I've seen some videos and read some articles talking about how the camera still isn't up to par with the Google Pixels and the S8s and the iPhone 7s of the world, but let me be the judge of that. I've done a good amount of photo testing with the OnePlus 3T, and it's still been a decent competitor versus many of my other high-end phones. Now, I would have loved if they added optical image stabilization for video. I know it has EIS, but we'll see how that goes. And the phone isn't dust and water resistant like my S8 or U11, but I'll be careful not to go deep sea diving with mine, and at the end of the day, it's really up to you. Is that worth your extra $200? Or is a lower price and high-end performance, build quality, and a clean UI more important?
Stop whining.
You are stupid.
Stick around for future videos as I dig into the OnePlus 5 and pit it head to head against many of my other phones.